So I hope I'm clearly audible and the screen is visible. So there was some technical issue that was going on. Okay. Yes. So there was some technical issue that was going on that took time. But now I hope I'm clearly audible and the screen is visible. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Thank God. Okay, so everything is fine, I hope, and this session is going to be very, very special. This session is going to be very important, as in this session we are going to discuss that what are the top 20 RBI notifications and RBI press releases that you cannot miss at all from your RBI Grade B 2026 examination point of view. So for the phase 1, for the phase 2, both the phases, the RBI notifications, press releases are very, very important, and these are the top 20 that we will be discussing in today's session. So I will not go too much in detail, but yes, we will be focusing on that what are the notifications, press releases that you cannot leave at all from the examination point of view. Okay, so I will provide you the list so that you have the clear idea that okay, these you cannot leave from the exam perspective. So let's get started, and before starting with the session, the big announcement is that the EduTap has brought for you this RBI Grade B guidebook. Through this guidebook, you will be getting the previous year questions in this guidebook for the different components, for the different subjects, as well as you will be getting the important topics so that you can see that you are not missing out and you are not leaving any of the important topic. You will be getting resources if you are doing the self-study, so you can see the resources from where you can cover the important topics. The 6-step strategy has been laid down here so that you can prepare in the right direction. Okay, so this is the RBI Grade B guidebook that is absolutely free of cost, and this is provided for all of you at free of cost. The link for the guidebook is provided in the description box below. Okay, so now let's get started with the top 20 list of the RBI notifications, RBI press releases. But before that, let's understand the importance of the RBI notifications and RBI press releases for the phase 1 and phase 2. We have already discussed it in a previous session also, but here let me provide you the clarity. Okay, and give me a thumbs up. Okay. So see, in 2024, there were around 18 questions from the RBI website, from the RBI notifications, press releases, the reports of the RBI and such. In 2025, there were 7 questions. See, in the May, the annual report was released while the exam was in October. So you can understand that there were a lot of months that were in between May and October, like the phase 1 was in October for the RBI Grade B. Okay, so because of the gap, there were around no questions from the annual report in the RBI Grade B phase 1 examination. But this time, just before your examination in June, the RBI annual report will be released. So RBI annual report will be released by the end of May, and you have the examination on 30th of June. So from the annual report also, you can expect the questions. Okay, as well as Utkarsh 2029 has been released, Payments Vision has been released. So there are multiple important documents that the RBI is releasing and multiple important master actions that the RBI is releasing this time. So now the RBI notifications, press releases, the RBI reports becomes more important, and you have to focus on these articles. Okay. Next, in the phase 2, you can see that okay, in the phase 1 there was the drop in the number of questions, but now in 2026 you can expect more questions because of so many of the documents that will be released before the phase 1. Okay, the annual report will be released before the phase 1, and the Payments Vision document has already been released. Utkarsh 2029 has already been released. So important documents have already been released, and some are going to be released, okay, before the examination. So you have to be prepared in a better manner for the phase 1 this time from the RBI website perspective. Now in the phase 2 also, the RBI notifications, RBI press releases are important. Though in 2024 there was only one objective question from the RBI website, but in 2025, that is last year only, there were 2 descriptive questions from the RBI website, from the free AI report as well as from the Monetary Policy Committee meeting statement. So the RBI notifications and RBI press releases, no one can deny the importance of these and the RBI website. Okay. Now the kind of questions that have come in the phase 1. So last year there were directly like one-liner questions. Not much of the statement-based questions have come, but previously, like in 2024, in 2023, there were more statement-based questions. So do attempt or do practice a lot of different kind of questions for your RBI notifications, for your RBI press releases, so that in the examination you are not surprised when you see different kind of questions this time. Okay, so statement based questions can also come, or directly one liner questions can also come. If one liner questions are coming, that will save your time, but if statement based questions are coming, then you will have to invest more of your time. That means you will need to have the strong ability to go through the questions in a faster and faster manner. So that's why I'm suggesting that try to attempt more of the questions that are of lengthy nature also, so that in the examination when you see one liner questions, you will be more relaxed and you will be able to go through them in a faster manner. Okay, so attempt all kind of questions, one liner questions, statement based questions, so that in the examination if one liners are coming, that will be fine. If statement based are also coming, you have already practiced for that. Okay, so here RBI press releases also is important from the RBI Grade B examination point of view. Now coming to the list of the top 20 RBI notifications and RBI press releases. So now I will provide you the list of the top 20 RBI notifications and RBI press releases that have been released till now, that you cannot miss at all. And we have written top 20, but actually I will provide you around 25 notifications and press releases that are very, very important, that you cannot miss. Okay, so here this list will help you to tick that okay, what you have covered and what you have to cover in the coming phase, or what you have to cover in the left out days. Now, Foreign Exchange Management Authorized Persons Regulations 2026, this is released in May 2026. That is this month only, at the start of this month only, this regulation has been released, and this is very important from the examination point of view, because you can understand that this has been released recently and the exam is in June. Now, first, how many months you should be covering? Like we have understood the importance. Now, before starting with the list, let me also tell you that the most important months will be your March, April and May, and the 7th till 7th of June. Okay, Feb and January. If you have time, you can go through it, but I will suggest you that first focus on these months and the 7th till 7th of June. For Jan and Feb, you can just do the most important RBI notifications, the most important RBI press releases, some of which I have mentioned in this list also. Okay, so most important months for your RBI notifications, RBI press releases for your phase 1 is March, April, May and till 7th of June. Till your phase 2, you will be covering the June also, you will be covering the July also till 20th of July. So you can understand that you will be able to cover 5 months for the phase 2 and 3 to 4 months for phase 1. Okay, if Jan and Feb, just do the most important articles. That's it. Now let's start with the top 20 list. Okay, chalo. Foreign Exchange Management Authorized Persons Regulations 2026. This regulation has been just released in May 2026. So this becomes very, very important. Other than that, coming to the rest articles, they are from April 2026. Okay. So here RBI Reserve Bank of India Urban Cooperative Banks Credit Facilities Amendment Direction 2026, this has been released, in which the limits have been provided for the unsecured loans as well as for the housing loans also. There are certain directions that have been provided. Now if you remember, last year in the phase 1 there was a question from the housing loan provided by the Urban Cooperative Bank, even though housing loans were not in news at that time. So urban cooperative banks are always very important from the examination perspective, from the phase 1, from the phase 2 perspective. So these directions, now there are two different directions, amendment directions that RBI has released, but these are for the urban cooperative banks. So I have merged it together, but you have to go through both of them. So the Reserve Bank of India has released, the RBI has released Urban Cooperative Banks Credit Facilities Amendment Direction and the Concentration Risk Management Amendment Directions, both of which are very important, both of which consist of various facts that you have to remember from the examination point of view. This is going to be important from the phase 1 objective as well as from the phase 2 objective point of view. Now next is Utkarsh 2029. I don't think that I need to put emphasis on this, that how important it is. It was released in April 2026, and here, the Utkarsh 2029 Reserve Bank of India's medium-term strategy framework for 2026-29. So the medium-term strategy is provided of the Reserve Bank of India. So this document is also very important from the phase 1 as well as from the phase 2 perspective. This document is also important from the descriptive perspective, not only objective. Half-yearly report has been released. Now this half-yearly report on management of foreign exchange reserves, you can understand that in the phase 1, of 2024 or 2023, there was a direct question from this half-yearly report on management of foreign exchange reserves, and now this report is recently released. All the recently released reports become even more important if they are released by the RBI, and RBI has given various important data through this report. Okay, so this report is also very important. I hope most of these you have already covered. Like urban cooperative banks, recently we have covered in Finance 360. Utkarsh we have covered. Half-yearly report we have already covered. This is released in May, which we will be covering soon. Okay. Now, I will take your doubts. First, let's discuss the list. Now, next is C. As the urban cooperative banks, they are very important from the examination perspective. Similarly, NBFCs, they are also very important from the examination perspective because the NBFC is also a hot topic that RBI uses to ask the question, or the exam conducting authority, uses to ask the questions. So there are two different directions, amendment directions that the RBI has released regarding the NBFCs. The most important is the Reserve Bank of India, NBFCs, registration, exemptions and framework for scale-based regulation, amendment directions, in which RBI has informed about type 1 and type 2 NBFCs and has given the categories of type 1 and type 2 NBFCs as well as the unregistered type 1 NBFCs. So you can understand that this is the bifurcation for the NBFCs, which is very important, okay? As well as you need to know about the scale-based regulation. You need to know about the base layer, top layer, middle layer, upper layer and all. As well as the RBI has also released non-banking financial companies branch authorization amendment directions, in which it has been clearly informed that the NBFCs cannot open the overseas branches, but they can have the representative offices. So you need to have the clarity about this. Okay. Next is floating rate savings bond. This we have discussed in Finance 360 session again, and this is very important because the operational guidelines have been amended, and the interest rate will depend upon the national savings certificate plus 0.35%, as well as the floating rate saving bond will be of 7 years. For the senior citizen, there are some relaxations. So there are multiple facts that are very, very important from the examination point of view, and the floating rate saving bond is directly impacting the common people, because the floating rate saving bond, it is for the resident Indians and Hindu undivided family, that is for common people, the public, this floating rate saving bond is. So this becomes very, very important as it is impacting the general public. Now, limits for investment in debt and sale of credit default swaps by foreign portfolio investors. So every year the RBI releases the limit for the government securities, state government securities, and the RBI also releases the limit for the corporate bonds. This year also RBI has released the limits that you have to remember. Reporting instructions for authorized dealer category 1 banks. So this is also important. The phased path that is provided is important. Master action on incentives and penalties for currency distribution and exchange. So there is the master action on the incentives, that is known as the scheme of incentives, and there is the scheme for penalties. That is important. You have to remember the most important data. What are the penalties that are imposed? What are the incentives that are provided and such. This topic was in news last year also. This is in news this year also. Now, next is RBI issues directions on asset classification, provisioning, income recognition for commercial banks. Whenever there is the discussion regarding the Basel III, whenever there is the discussion regarding the asset classification, directions are released for provisioning, income recognition. So such kind of articles or the notifications of the Reserve Bank of India become very, very important. Now, Basel III final directions, this is not only important from the phase 1 objective perspective, phase 2 objective perspective, this is also very important from the descriptive perspective. I hope you are focusing on this very clearly. Okay. Next is, till now any confusion, anyone? Next is Reserve Bank of India conduct of government business by agency banks, payment of agency commission and oversight of agency banks, directions 2026. So here there are like agency banks that conduct the government business on behalf of the Reserve Bank of India, and there are certain fees that are provided and such. So that has been laid down. The facts are also very important for this particular direction. So these are important. These are released in April. Now I know that there were multiple directions, amendments that were released in April 2026. So you might not have been able to cover all of them, but this is just a list so that before going to the examination, you are clear that you have covered these important notifications and press releases. Okay, they will take time because Basel III norms, the final directions on that, the directions on the asset classification and such, they might seem very complicated and lengthy, but you have to cover it, at least the most important points you have to cover it. And in April 2026 there were multiple master directions that were released and the amendment directions that were released that you have to cover, and these are the most important ones. Okay, but you can take your time. It's not like that you have to do everything on one day. If you try to do in a fast manner, then you will not be able to remember many of the facts. Okay, so take your time, but you have to cover these articles before the examination that you have to do. Reserve Bank of India Commercial Bank Prudential Norms on Declaration of Dividend and Remittances of Profits Directions 2026. So now we are going forward with the directions from March 2026. So I have shown you one direction from May. Then we saw the directions from the April 2026. Now coming to the directions from the March 2026 that are very important from the examination point of view. Okay, so prudential norms and declaration of dividend, on what basis the dividend will be declared, what is adjusted profit after tax, what is the meaning of the adjusted profit after tax. So all of this has been laid down here. So this is very, very important from the examination perspective. Okay, and I hope you have already gone through this direction because this was from March 2026, and I have also taken a session on this particular direction as it is important from the RBI perspective. Next is Master Action, Reserve Bank of India Unique Identifiers in Financial Markets. So unique identifiers, that is the LEI, Legal Entity Identifier, and UTI, that is the Unique Transaction Identifier. The norms have been released regarding the LEI and UTI. Very important. LEI has 20 characters, UTI has 52 characters. The UTI technical guidance is provided by the CPMI, okay, BIS and IOSCO. So you should be aware about these. You should be aware about this master direction. You should be aware about this, okay? And you should go through this master action, which is very, very important from the examination point of view. Prudential norms on capital adequacy amendment directions, in which the add-on factors have been mentioned and they have been laid down. So you need, again, this is related to the capital adequacy. This is related to the capital adequacy, and that's why it is important. Again, I have taken a session on this. So if you have not gone through this direction, you should. Payment Vision 2028, very important, because this is a payment vision that how the RBI is how the RBI should proceed, or in the payments domain, what steps will be taken. Okay, so Digital Payments E-Mandate Framework 2026, this is like here just two important points are there, that the 15,000 is the general limit and the 1 lakh is the limit for the insurance premiums, mutual funds and such. So these are like without the additional factor authentication per transaction, this is the limits. So these are such kind of facts that you have to remember from the phase 1 perspective, from the phase 2 perspective. So go through the e-mandate framework, but the important points will be facts in this particular direction. Okay, as well as the transaction notification should be within 24 hours, for which transactions or for which e-mandate there is no requirement of the pre-transaction notification. Like for the NCMC card, for the FASTag, there is no requirement of the pre-transaction notification. So these are some of the facts that you have to focus on, especially for the phase 1. Like you can worry about the phase 2 and you can worry about the descriptive after phase 1. Right now, go through the directions and see the facts that you have to keep in mind from the phase 1 perspective. If you have gone through the direction and you have seen the facts for the phase 1, while reading them again for the phase 2, the things will be much easier for you. Okay, so right now worry more about your phase 1, and if you are preparing well for the phase 1, if you are focusing on the important facts, then the things will become easier for you for the phase 2 also. Now, Master Action, Reserve Bank of India access criteria for NDSOM directions. So basically, there is slight improvement that was brought, that the Prava portal can be used with the revised forms for taking the direct access to the NDSOM. Okay, now because the NDSOM is in news and the access criteria is in news, so you have to go through the access criteria for NDSOM. This is a very important online platform through which you can do the transactions in the government securities in the secondary market. RBI has launched Mission Saksham. This has been in news like previous 2 to 3 months. This was in news, and that's why this is very important, especially the full form, why it has been launched and such. Risk-based premium. Now, these are the directions till March 2026. Now, these two are from Feb 2026, which I found are very important that you should not miss. And these are from the Jan 2026, which I found again to be important, which you should not miss. Okay. Though the list is 20, top 20, but I have provided you additional one just because I did not want to leave it. Okay. So risk-based premium framework for deposit insurance in India. So there is the risk-based premium is provided rather than just having the flat rate. Rather than just having the flat rate, there is also like before for the DICGC, before under the DICGC, there was the flat rate. Okay, so before under the DICGC, there was the flat rate for the insurance. The flat rate was there that the banks used to provide. Now there is also, it has been said that as per the risk, there should be the rate that should be taken from the banks for providing the insurance. So DICGC provides insurance. The DICGC, it provides the insurance for the depositors, and the insurance premium is taken from the banks. Okay, and the insurance premium before it was taken from the banks at the flat rate, but now it has been said that there will be a risk-based premium framework that will be followed. RBI Digital Payment Index for September 2025. Again, Digital Payment Index is something that is very important. The static, that is the framework, the parameters are very important, sub parameters are very important. Last year there were, I guess, 2 or 3 questions from the Digital Payment Index, so you can understand how important it is. RBI issues Reserve Bank of India internal ombudsman directions. Internal ombudsman directions, very important because the internal ombudsman is a very important idea. Last year also there was a question from the internal ombudsman direction, even though it was not in news at that time. Okay, integrated ombudsman, this is a scheme of the RBI. Again, the RBI has issued the updated integrated ombudsman scheme, so very important. So these are the top 20. I have provided you additional one, as well as in January only there was also the release of the amendment direction for the priority sector lending. So this is also important. Okay, so amendment direction regarding priority sector lending, this was also released in Jan, so I will also suggest you to go through it. Okay, I know that you must be targeting March, April and May till 7th of June or 7th to 8th of June, but I will suggest you that do go through the important directions of Feb 2026 and the Jan 2026. At least just the most important ones you can go through. Now, any confusion anyone has? So this is the list that I have provided. I will take your queries now. If you have any query, kindly ask me. Any query, anyone? If you have the course of EduTap, then you have to focus on the course itself. Okay, in the course the live classes are going on, no? So just focus on the live classes in the course, because in the live classes we are covering all the topics that are provided in the magazine. Okay, any other question, anyone? Chalo. If there is no question, then I will be closing the session, but before that let me show you that how EduTap is helping you, how we can help you. Okay, so basically if you go to just a second. So see, if you go to edutap.in, if you go to edutap.in, you can go to EduTap's website. Okay, here in the courses section you can see the RBI Grade B courses, and here you can see the crash course that is going on. So there is live crash course. So I know that many of you might be worried that in the limited time how you can cover so many of the different schemes, reports, RBI notifications, RBI press releases, finance current affairs, general awareness, quant reasoning, how you can do the practice of quant reasoning English. So we have launched this live crash course where the live classes are going on for your different documents, for your different sections, for quant reasoning English, for the general awareness section, for the schemes, reports, RBI notifications. There are dedicated classes that are going on. So you can join this live crash course for your phase 1 and phase 2, where the live classes are provided to you. With the live classes, the PDFs are provided to you of the live class, as well as the magazines are provided. The quiz are provided, and the quiz are of very good quality. The quiz have been updated completely so that even the static part is covered through the quiz, because in the last year we saw that some of the static questions were coming up. So from the current affairs, we have covered the current affairs as well as some of the important static part, also some of the important static facts also. So solve previous year questions are provided, chapter wise tests are there, full length tests are there. So right now the flat 84% is going on. You can use the code RBI84. So this is the idea. Okay, Now, ma'am, please tell me the validity of live crash course. If you want to know more about the live crash course, you can you can call the team also. You can also here click no more. The validity is 6 months, that is written here. For the live crash course, that is for your phase 1 and phase 2. For the phase 2 live crash course, the validity will be 3 months. Okay, but if you want to know even more about the crash courses, then you can call the team for sure. You can also mail the team. Yes, for sure. See, RBI notifications, RBI press releases are very important. At the same time, the finance current affairs are also very important. In your phase 1, there were 8 questions from the finance current affairs. In your phase 2, there were 5 questions from the finance current affairs, out of which 4 questions were 2 markers and 1 question was 1 marker. So in total, in your phase 2, 9 questions were from finance current affairs. So you cannot leave the finance current affairs. Okay. So finance current affairs, SEBI related articles, IRDI, Ministry of Finance related updates, all of that comes under finance current affairs. So finance current affairs you have to do, RBI notifications, RBI press releases you have to do for the phase 1, for the phase 2. Okay. Any other confusion? Okay, this is it then. If there is no further confusion, I will be closing the session. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you had a great session. And sorry for the technical issue in the start, due to which I was not able to join, but the team resolved it, and I hope the session was good